Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another edition of Random Stories I Found on My Phone, where I poke around in my phone for pictures that I have no memory of taking and don't know why I took, and I use them as fodder to bring you guys the outline of a story. So here is today's picture. Y'all see that? Got the reflection there, but it's one of those old-fashioned lamps with you can't really see it, but I think it has a handle behind there. Looks very old-fashioned-y. And that's the one we're riffing from today. So, okay, with that in mind, I am thinking that it kind of screams haunted house. So I'm wanting some sort of like otherworldly feel to the story. And even though I write romance primarily, my stories don't have to be a romance, but I think this one needs to be a romance, so we're going with romance. At least a little touch of it, but I don't know, we'll see how it plays out. And gothic, very kind of gothic vibes. So, okay, Okay, so let's say there's a storm. I mean, because we are having storms right now, and the power's gone out like 1,000 times in the last few days. And so I'm in kind of a storm kind of mood. So there's a storm, and this woman is in the storm. The power goes out, and okay, no, that's stupid. Okay, we're going to back up. The woman is not at home. We have no idea if her power's gone out, but she is on the road in this horrible, horrible storm, which I have done before and is really freaking scary if it's the kind where you basically float along on the water. Don't do that. Don't be me. Go park somewhere and be safe. Anyway, okay. I've got the skeleton of this now. So, we're meeting our heroine, Alicia. Um, yeah, I like Alicia. As she's driving cross country by herself in this massive storm, and she's got some sad purpose. Like she's lost her job and she's giving it all up, or she broke up with her boyfriend. She broke up with jerky boyfriend, and I don't know, maybe quitting her job is better. Maybe she's never figured out. Yeah, I like that better. She's never figured out like where she really belongs. And so she's just given up, and she's going off to find a whole new life. This is her trying to figure out who she is. So, and it's in the middle of this huge storm, the kind where your windshield wipers do nothing. And instead of being smart and pulling over to the side of the road, she's pushing through it and plowing through it and plowing through it. And it's just not safe to drive. So finally, instead of just, putting on the hazards and staying by the side of the road and taking a nap till it passes, she pulls off onto the access road. And it's this really lonely stretch, but there's a light in the distance. It's like the only light around because she's in Nothinville. She is probably somewhere along I-10 between where I live in California. I drive that route a lot. And anyway, so she like eases the car towards it, trying not to hit anybody. And she is like so relieved when she gets there, and it's this bed and breakfast. It's like this really old house. I don't know house styles, but the kind with like, lots of, I guess, gabled windows and stuff, and this huge covered front porch. And it's very charming, but clearly very old and only like half fixed up. Like someone bought it and started to fix it up, but they didn't. And now they turned it into a B&B so they can make money to finish fixing it up. Anyway, she doesn't care. It's the only place around. There's not even a Buc-ee's. So she parks the car and she gets out, and like, it's like, 4 yards to the front, but she still gets completely soaked crossing that short space. And it's like, even though it's only like half finished on the outside, inside is just like charming, like old timey, but kind of spooky too, but because of the dim lighting and whatnot, and these old furnishings. And anyway, it seems like it's in this weird place just right off the highway, but she doesn't care. She just wants a room. She wants to stay there until this storm passes, and then she's getting back on with her figure out who she is in life goal. Anyway, she's registering. The power goes out. So the owner who's registering her at the little registration table thingy gives her the lamp from the picture. It's still up on my phone, so I can pick it up. gives her the lamp so she can navigate her way. I really wish I could get rid of that reflection. I should just start printing these puppies out. Anyway, um, gives her the lamp so she can, not kill herself as she wanders through the bed and breakfast to get to her room. Um, and so let's say it's the kind of place that offers you a glass of wine when you get there, even though it's not that fancy. It's, it's the hospitality. So she has been drinking it while they register her, and she's chatting with the lady because she's nice, and she's the kind of woman who's going to chat with the neighbors and with people in stores and whatnot. And she's been sipping her wine while she's there, and the what do you call it, the hostess, the registrar, the owner, it's a B&B actually, the owner gave her the bottle too. He's like, take it up to your room, enjoy it, wait for the storm to pass, try to get some sleep. And so she's carrying the lamp, she's carrying the wine bottle, she's got her key tucked into her pocket, she's got her purse, she probably left her bag in the car. So she gets to her room, she unlocks it. Actually, maybe it's not locked because she pushes open the door and there's a man inside. And she's like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong room. I'm so sorry. But it's her room. And they work that out and she realizes that it is her room. But there's this man inside it. And he's like gorgeous. And he's got dark hair, this really sexy voice. And it turns out that he says it's his room too. And so we have that whole kind of romantic comedy thing. And, she offers him some wine, but he doesn't have any. And, I mean, not that he doesn't have any wine, he doesn't drink any wine. And so she's like drinking because she's like really attracted to him and he's there and it's weird. And she's not freaking out about this guy in her room. And maybe we've established on the drive when she's like on the phone with her bestie, that, she's not very good around guys. And, whatever the backstory is, we figure that out. Like, not very good around guys. So, but she broke up with her boyfriend and now she's just dreading like finding another relationship because she sucks at it. Anyway, and then they had to get off the phone because the weather was too bad that she would be stupid to be driving while talking on the phone. Anyway, back to the room. Gorgeous guy in her room. And however we work our way around to it, he seduces her. And maybe there's even some sort of like, I've been waiting for you forever, kind of language, but maybe not. That's a little campy. So no, not that. But anyway, the sweet seduction and, let's call him Owen. And they talk too. So it's not just about the sex, but they spend the night together. And it's, it's really, really nice because she realizes that, the guy she was with was just a jerk and he makes her feel really special and they talk and the conversation is deep and it feels unreal somehow, but at the same time more real than anything else she's ever experienced in her life. Anyway, they fall asleep in each other's arms and she's like, it's like bliss. And she wakes up probably in the morning. Yeah, in the morning. And he's not there. There's no sign of him. There's not even like an indentation in his pillow. And it's like, she's like, what the hell? Did she drink so much that she like had this entire like really hot sex dream? And maybe she should lay off on the wine. And she's like totally freaked out because it felt so real. And she's like really legitimately sad that it turns out that this was like all a dream. And maybe she was running from a really bad boyfriend. Not necessarily that he's going to run after her and kill her or something, but just she was escaping really bad boyfriend. So it makes her extra sad because this guy seemed like a winner and she was running from loser and she was thinking, wow, look at me. I found a better guy really fast. But anyway, she's having all these thoughts. She's in her thoughts. She heads downstairs for coffee and she sees him. Not him. It's this old photograph on the wall, like whatchamacallit, tintype, like the really, really old ones, like the very first generation photos that you would think I would remember the name of because I was a radio TV film major back in college, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, really old photo, like first generation. We're making a picture just good enough that she can tell that it is him. Except, she tells herself, well, of course it's not him. Maybe it's his relative, This is like a family-run place. Obviously, this place is not owned by Marriott. So she's making all these justifications. But so she asks, who is this guy? And the lady at the desk tells her, back when the place first was opened, it was a B&B or a saloon, maybe. Maybe it was like in old movies where they have prostitutes in the rooms and you rent them out. I don't think they called them B&Bs. I think they were just, I don't know what they called them, but it was one of those. We researched, we find out what they called them. And it was actually in the middle of this, uh, I guess, trading kind of area. And so, like, there was no freeway then. So it wasn't like by the side of a major road, but people would come and maybe there was like a little town. Anyway, this was a place that was there. And she's like, okay, that's really, really, really weird. And so she's kind of like, did she dream it all? Was she just so tired and stressed from driving through this rain, which, takes an intense amount of concentration? And she'd already been on the road for a long time. And so she just sort of justifies it like, okay, fine. Running from really bad boyfriend, really, really, really horrible drive. I'm just going to, she just let her mind wander and she had this like total sex dream. Except she can't stop thinking about him. It's like she had this connection with this guy who was like in a dream, and so she feels kind of lame about that. But at the same time, she doesn't really believe that it was nothing, and the whole thing is just weighing on her. And maybe she calls her bestie again, and her bestie is like into crystals and tarot cards and stuff like that. And her friend tells her that this is a good thing. The cards are telling her that maybe there's someone new coming into her life, or that there's someone old coming into her life. I don't know, but the friend is like, this is cool, go for it. And she's just like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. Anyway, so she leaves. She checks out the next morning. Storm has passed, and she's heading down I-10 towards California for her new job. And yeah, it's the new job she was running away to. I'm adding that into the story now. I like it. So we go back and fix whatever that doesn't mesh with. Anyway, so, and she'd been really looking forward to this new job, new town, starting new life, bad boyfriend, friends who'd moved away. This is a new setting for her, a new start. But when she gets there, it just feels flat and wrong from day one. So she gives it a try for like, we want her to, legit give it a try. So let's say a week. And it is not a good fit. They think it is. They love her. She's a great employee. She's good with what she does. But she is just like, mm-mm. So she tells them no. I don't know. Maybe she's a lawyer and she was moving from a big firm to another big firm in another town. I don't know. We'll figure that out later, what she did and what she does and what she turns down. But anyway, yeah, lawyer's good. Maybe this was going to be a job for a lot more money. And yeah, anyway, details can come later. Anyway, she goes back. And she stays in the same room, and she whispers to the end that she wants him back, but he doesn't come. But it's like she can feel him there. Or maybe she sees him, but he doesn't quite come to her. But then, and she thinks, well, maybe it was all her imagination. Maybe she should just leave and get on with it. But she stays. She stays because she knows he's there, and she knows she wants him, and she feels weirdly like she has to convince him, this ghost or apparition or whatever, that she means it. It's and she knows that that's kind of silly, and she thinks maybe she's like losing it a little bit, but she doesn't care. She's losing it in a way that she likes, and so there. Anyway, so she starts turning the working there, and she cleans it up and she makes it nicer, and she helps them maybe get a little more capital for the business because she's got some skills in that regard. And so she stays and she stays. Everyone in town thinks she fell in love with the building, but really it's because after he saw that she was serious, Owen came back, and he's there with her every night in their dream world. And it's just like that first night. They talk and they make love, and he tells her stories about his life back when he was alive, and she tells him about what's happening in the town. She's not a shut-in, and she's out there, maybe she's on the Chamber of Commerce by now. She's found her place. And the only weird thing about it is that her boyfriend is a ghost. And each night she falls for this ghost guy more and more. And she grows old there with him. But they can't leave. He is tied to the B&B. Then one night she goes to sleep. When later, late in her life, she's the owner of it now with the old lady owner of it now with the young staff. And one night she goes to sleep, and then he wakes her up and he walks her out the back door, which she's gone out before, but this time there's this amazing carpet of like beautiful flowers. Um, and she realizes, or maybe he has to tell her, I think she realizes that she died during the night and this is their afterlife together. And, and it's really nice. And I'm actually tearing up because I tear up at everything. Anyway, I like that story. I may have to write that story. There's a lot of these that I like. I do not have enough hours in the day, but I like it. And it kind of makes me want to read. I didn't think about it as I was riffing on it, but it kind of makes me want to read. Oh God, what is the name of that book? The Ghost and Mrs. Muir again, which I haven't read since I was a kid, but I think it has kind of the same vibes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week of me sort of showing you how I sort of start out, at least, writing a story. Until next time, ciao.